Hey guys, this is Jenny, and this is our Slow Flow class for the second week of September. And I'm actually outside today. We're doing some remodeling work on the office space that I usually practice yoga in with you guys. So forgive any noise from the wind and things like that from the mic. It's supposed to cancel out some of that, but I do realize that it picks up a little bit of that noise, and so please forgive that noise this time. And if you have some music that you want to use to play, this is a great time to do that. Could help potentially, take your mind off of some of those extra additions that we're going to have to our class today. So today it's interesting because I always talk to you guys about like what I'm learning at the time, and I've told you guys multiple times the books that I'm reading. And it was really funny because last night I was reading a little bit before bed, and one of the things that they were talking about is our enemies, our perceived enemies, right? Because nobody's really our enemy. It's only my perception of the person and the situation that I have with them that makes them my enemy. You know what I mean? Now, that doesn't mean that I'm always going to have great feelings about people who have imposed trauma on me and things of that nature. It's just going to take time to get into certain places. So this isn't something that is just going to be, everybody's going to be ready for it right this second, you know what I'm saying? But I thought it was an interesting perception. And they were talking about how because we are ultimately all one, we are ultimately all a part of that same energetic expression that God, divine, great spirit, source, ultimate vibratory expression. That's who and what we all are, whether or not we are owning of that truth or not. And then if we're not owning that truth, of course, there's all of these limitations and things that I can put in between myself and that space that keep me from fully accessing the truth of my being, right? And they were talking about with the enemies and those people who we judge that way, how we should actually be exalting them. And I'll be real with y'all. I'm always real with y'all. The first thing I thought was like, well, F that. Screw that shit. I'm not doing that. And I don't have a lot of people who like make me angry or I perceive as not being somebody that I'm open to or something of that nature. But there's a few people who, I just still have not fully evolved to that place where it's like I'm cool with recognizing all of those little intricacies of connectedness and honoring that and all of these things. So they were talking about exalting that person, lifting them up, essentially, and not like as in lifting them up above ourselves or anything of that nature, but lifting up their name in like prayer, lifting them up as in like offering them back to spirit. You know what I mean? Like giving them back to that energetic space of divinity and source and all of those kinds of things, right? And when we do that, how we set them free of some of the catalyst for their behavior, which I thought was really interesting, because I'm no longer holding that energetic tie to them with the expectation that they behave a certain way, that they are then free of that expectation, that energetic expectation, right? It's like, well, that's cool. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I can see that, And then they were talking about how the exalting of the person, like I said, it's giving them back over to divine, giving that person over to source and removing our connection to them, which is what we talk a lot about, like cord cutting and shit like that. It's not really so much about there's this distinctive energetic cord that always needs to be cut. Sometimes it's just I need to let go mentally. You know, the cord that needs to be cut is inside of me because it's a mental thing that I keep coming back to. I keep focusing on it. I keep it alive. I keep feeding it, which it's usually not stuff that I want to experience more of. So thereby, I'm also exposing myself to more and more and more layers of trauma through presenting that situation back to myself again and again and again. So definitely, you know, cutting that cord. And then also we exalt them or lift them up in that way so that we are also exalting ourselves. When we exalt that other individual, we exalt ourselves. Why? Because we're all connected. We're intrinsically connected by that universal golden thread, that thing that connects every living thing, right? So if I am that, I am all of those things, then they are as well. It doesn't matter my feelings about them, my judgments about them, my perceptions of them, because as far as divinity is concerned, they're still a part of that energy, right? It doesn't matter how far they've strayed from their truth of being, they're still that. And that's hard for us to wrap our human minds around. It's hard for me to wrap my human mind around it because I have judgments, because I have, you know, with trauma comes judgment, it comes stories, it comes hurt, it brings all of these things, right? And that's where it's like, that's my responsibility to deal with the energies that are within myself. And I'm not talking about toxic positivity bullshit and all of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about giving it up, giving it over, letting it go. You know what I mean? No longer choosing to carry the thing because it's not mine to carry. Giving it back to source so that source and its infinite knowledge and wisdom can then utilize that energy in a way that is going to draw everybody and everything towards the highest and greatest good. Does that make sense? So I thought that was a really interesting thing. It's totally something that I believe to be true, you know, so it's going to be important for me to show that in my life. Like I know and I do, right? I know the thing and I do. So I've got to create the positive changes now that reflect that truth of knowledge, which is the hard part usually, you know, because there's all of these things that are still in there that are like, no, why would you do that? You can't exalt this person. That's just the thought of it or the words just are even disgusting. You know what I mean? And that's a normal human reaction. Like, that's totally okay. Like, there's no reason that we should have to force ourselves into forgiveness. We're not forcing ourselves to feel a certain way. You can't do that. It's a lie anyways, right? Even if you tell yourself the thing, unless you feel it inside of you, it's a lie. But with the perception and ability to look at something from a different way, that can give us more ability to let go of the shit that is not conducive to our needs, that is not conducive to our highest and greatest good. It's the toxic sludge, it's the bullshit that keeps us weighted down, that keeps us limited, that keeps us from really experiencing the fullness of life. So why should I allow a situation with an individual holds so much power over me that it continues to affect the trajectory of my life? Like, that's super fucked up, man. The fact that I would give somebody else that much power to hold sway in my life, still potentially even decades after the experience has happened, right? So just a little something to chew on this morning that I found to be really interesting and helpful, and that maybe you guys can use that information as well. So let's go ahead and start by tuning into our body for our practice today, our slow flow practice. Go ahead and come into that comfortable, easy seated posture if you're not already there. Close the eyes, drop the shoulders back and down. Long, beautiful straight line, central line of the body. Go ahead and take your left hand onto the heart, the right hand onto the belly. Draw the elbows in towards the rib cage so that you're gently squeezing yourself, just holding yourself, calming yourself, coming back to that safe space inside. We're going to begin that Ujjayi breath. Closing the mouth, allowing the tongue to gently rest in the roof just behind the front teeth, creating space in the back of the throat so that on the inhalation and the exhalation through the nose, you hear that beautiful, gentle noise that sounds like the waves of the ocean coming in and coming out. And to achieve that noise, we must experience the full body breath, so drawing the breath all the way down into the belly. So that on the inhalation, it rises up and away from the body. And on the exhalation, we're drawing that navel towards the spine, fully expelling all of that stagnant air out of those lungs. And as you're breathing into the body, visualizing how strong those lungs are, how capable they are of offering you that breath of life, which provides that new prana, that new energetic life energy to totally fill you up, energize your being. Really slow and gentle whenever you're ready. Releasing those hands down onto those knees, gently allowing those eyes to flutter open. We're going to start with some gentle movement in the body. Inhale deeply. Exhale, release the chin to the chest so that we can begin to take those gentle neck circles in whichever direction feels best to you this morning. Nice and slow. Never pressing into pain or tingling or numbness, always protecting yourself and engaging in the practice that's meant for you today. Next time you find the chin towards the chest, take that rotation in the opposite direction. Close the eyes, draw the attention, the awareness inward and upward towards the brow center. That place of your own intuition, tuning into those higher aspects of yourself. One more time, and then drawing that gaze back towards its neutral space. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hinging forward from those hips. Begin to take that Sufi grind in the same direction. You begin those gentle neck circles, rotating the entirety of your upper body around the base of your spine. Nice and slow, remembering there's no rush, but moving at your body's natural pace this morning. or this afternoon or whenever you're practicing this with us. Take that rotation in the opposite direction. Next time you find yourself towards the front. Inhale and rise up into that easy seated posture. Take those hands to frame the body, gently resting those fingertips into the earth. Ground into your body, ground into the earth for a moment, just connecting. Inhale, both arms rise up into the sky. Exhale, release the right arm into the earth and reach through the left fingertips, stretching through the side body. You can take a gentle pulse here or remain in stillness. Inhale, rise up, reach both fingertips into the sky. Exhale, left hand comes down, reaching through the right side of the body. Keep that elevated shoulder dropped back and down so that the heart space is exposed. Leading with the heart, allowing that heart space to radiate forward. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, release the right hand behind the right glute. Left hand comes to the outside of the right knee, twisting through the spine, gazing over the right shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. Untwisting the spine, reaching those fingertips into the sky. Exhale, drop it down to the opposite side. Left hand behind left glute, right hand to the outside of the left thigh. Gazing over the left shoulder. Breathing into the body. Relaxing into your posture. Allowing and accepting, never forcing or pressing. It's not a performance. It's an experience to be had. Untwisting the spine, reaching those fingertips into the sky. Exhale, super slow and gentle. Release those hands all the way down, caressing your aura until those fingertips find the earth. And take a couple deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to keep that left leg bent, heel drawn in towards the body, towards those glutes. Twist the spine so that the heart space is aligned towards that right leg. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Release those fingertips down onto the shin bones. Take your peace fingers around the big toe, or you can take those hands towards the bottom of the foot. Just listen to your body and whatever feels good. Inhale and rise up. Take those hands to the outside of your left thigh. Take a gentle twist, gazing over your left shoulder if it feels comfortable. Exhale and untwist. Take that body back to its neutral space so that we can switch sides. Right heel comes into the body. Left leg is extended. Twist the spine so that the heart space is aligned to that left leg. Inhale deeply and exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Dropping those hands down to whatever part of the body feels comfortable and safe, just never resting on the joint. Inhale and rise up. Take those hands outside of the right thigh, twisting through the spine, gazing over the right shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. Untwisting the spine, take it back to its neutral space. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees for our tabletop position. Stacking the shoulders on top of the wrists, hips on top of the knees. Take a moment to breathe into the body. Nice, beautiful straight line from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. And just take a moment to feel into the energy of this posture. Feel into the energy of your own being as you engage in it. Nice, engaged, strong posture. And then moving super slow into that cat-cow. Tipping the tailbone upward, drop the belly towards the earth and lift the gaze for your cow. Tuck the tailbone round through the spine. Take the chin to the chest for your cat. Inhaling into your cow. Exhaling into your cat. And just continue to move gently with ease and grace through this gentle stretching posture. Inhale back to center. Draw those knees towards the edge of the mat. Press the glutes back towards the heels. Stretch the fingertips towards the top, releasing the forehead and the heart space into the earth. Breathe into the body. Just relax. On your next exhalation, reaching out through the right arm, take it directly to the side of the body. Hand is aligned to that shoulder. Inhale, lift up through the heart space. Drop that arm underneath. Thread the needle under the heart, gently resting the right temple into the earth. And release the heart back down. Taking those deep breaths. Feeling that shoulder blade opening up energetically, letting go of any tension, any burdens that you've been carrying. By not letting go of the hurt, not letting go of the trauma, not letting go of the individual and exalting them, by giving them back to Source, giving them back to Great Spirit, giving them back to the divine. so that you no longer have to carry the energy of the trauma or the pain. But also remembering that this can be one of those battles that we have to fight many times before we really condition the mind to let go, to no longer go back to those thoughts, those old cyclical patterns, rewiring, reprogramming. Inhale, lift the heart space up, remove the right arm out from underneath, take the fingertips back towards the top of the mat at the left hand. This time reaching out through the left arm. Lift up through the heart space, draw the left arm underneath the heart, gently resting the left temple into the earth this time. And breathing into the body, threading that needle. If you want to cut those cords, if you want to cut the ties, we have to let go. We have to give it back to source, where those energies can be transmuted and shifted into the energies that are more life affirming. Inhale, lift up through the heart space. Draw that hand back towards the top of the mat to meet the right. Releasing the heart space towards the earth one more time. Give your heart the opportunity to be nurtured and supported and sustained by Mother Earth beneath you. Allowing your heartbeat to totally mesh, to blend into that deep beat, that resonant, deep vibratory expression of the earth. Whenever you're ready, inhale and rise back up onto the hands and knees. We're going to lengthen through our left arm, kick out through our right leg. Hold that posture, gazing over the left thumb. And just breathe into the body. Exhale, left hand comes in, right knee drops down into the earth. Now reaching out through the right arm, kicking out through the left leg, gazing over the right hand. Exhale, bring that hand back down, left knee drops down into the earth. Curl the toes under and press the hips into the sky for your first downward facing dog of your practice this morning. Releasing the heels towards the earth, pressing the belly towards the thighs, gazing towards the shin bones. Inhale and gaze towards the top of the mat and step or float towards the top, hanging in that forward fold for a moment. And just breathe into the body. Grounding through all four corners of both feet, really slow and gentle. Take a gentle bend in those knees. Roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Inhale, arms come overhead. I'm going to move that camera for a sec. Doing our best out here. Exhale, cactus out those arms. Inhale, fingertips rising into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward from those hips. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, Release those hands into the earth. Gentle bend in the knees, rolling up through the spine. Super slow. Arms come overhead. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, fingertips rising into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. One more time at your own pace. Nice, gentle, beautiful flow. Inhale and rise up. Arms come overhead. Exhale, Samastahiti or mountain pose. Drop those hands into heart space or arms framing the body, palms are forward. Take a couple deep breaths into the body. Eyes are closed. Just feel into your own energy for a moment. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Inhale, fingertips drive themselves into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Inhaling, half lift. Exhale, drop the hands into the mat and step it back for your downward facing dog. Beginning on the left side. Inhale, lift up through that leg. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate the ankle. Inhale, lengthen through the leg, and exhale, tuck it in. Pull it all the way through for that low lunge. We're going to come into that crescent lunge. So you're going to stay high on those back toes, but if you can't do that, you can release the foot down into the mat. Heel is centered, toes are out towards the edge at a 45-degree ankle. So just listen to the body. Front knee is stacked on top of the front ankle. Whenever you're ready, inhale and rise up. Using your core strength. Breathing into the body. Hold that posture. On your next inhalation, you're going to step forward with that right foot to meet the left. I'm going to step back a little bit here. We're going to lift up through our left leg. Inhale, lift that knee high. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to exhale, drop those hands into the earth and kick out through that left leg for your standing splits. Exhale, release that foot back down into the earth to meet the right foot. Gentle bend in those knees. Inhale, roll up through the spine. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Inhale, fingertips rising into the sky. Exhale, swan diving forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, drop those hands into the mat and step it back, downward dog. Inhale, lifting up through the right leg. Exhale, bending the knee and rotating the ankle. Lengthen through the leg and exhale, pulling it all the way through for your low lunge. Inhale, rise up for that crescent lunge whenever you're ready. Breathe into the body. Stepping forward on your next inhalation. Exhale fully and completely. Inhale, lift up through the right knee. Exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Release those hands into the mat, lengthening through the right leg. For your standing splits, it doesn't have to look perfect. You know, we're not trying to do like perfect splits here. Just lift the leg as high as you comfortably can. Exhale, drop the right foot next to the left. Inhale, ground through all four corners of the feet and rise up. Exhale. Thumbs come to heart center. Breathe into the body. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, cactus it out. Inhale, reach the fingertips into the sky. Exhale, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Bend through those knees. Drop the tailbone towards the earth, but keep the pelvis tucked underneath the body. Arms are lengthened, reaching those fingertips into the sky. Gaze is neutral. Breathe into the body. Inhale, lengthen through the body. Exhale, forward fold, hinging forward from those hips. Take a couple deep breaths. Take your pinkies and the opposite elbows. Gentle bend in those knees. Take some movement or remain in stillness. Inhale and rise up. Exhale, cactus out the arms. Inhale, fingertips rising into the sky. Exhale, hinging forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release the hands into the mat. Step it back, downward dog. Beginning on that divine feminine left side. Inhale, lift up through the left leg. Exhale, bend the knee, rotate the ankle. Inhale, lengthen through the leg. Exhale, pull it all the way through for your low lunge. Dropping down onto that back foot this time. Heel is aligned to the front heel. Toes are out at the edge of the mat at a 45-degree angle. Or you can remain high on the toes. Really slow and gentle whenever you're ready. Inhale and rise up for that warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Back foot comes aligned parallel to the back end of the mat. Reaching those fingers in opposition from one another. Gaze is over the left fingertips and sink into your posture. Drop the right fingertips down the right thigh. Reach for that reverse warrior. Oh, I nearly couldn't say that one. Gazing at the fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Exhale, warrior two. Take those feet parallel to each other towards the right side of your mat. Exhale, grab onto those hands behind the back. Lift the fist away from the glutes. Drop the crown of the head towards the earth. Fist rise into the sky. And breathe into the body. Release those hands underneath the heart space whenever you're ready. Pivot and turn towards the back side of your mat so that we can balance out both sides of the body, focusing on the right side this time. Whenever you're ready, we're going to come into that warrior one. Inhale, use that core strength to rise up. Exhale, warrior two. Drop the left fingertips down the left thigh. Reverse your warrior, gazing over the right fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Exhale, warrior two. Sink in a little bit here. Hold that posture and breathe. Lengthen through the front leg. Turn those right toes in. Exhale, release those hands behind the back. Lift the fist away from the glutes. Hinging forward from the waist. Fists rise into the sky. Hold that posture and breathe. Release those hands underneath the heart space whenever you're ready. And breathing into the body. Gonna take your right hand to the outside of your left calf. Inhale, lift up through the left arm, twisting through the spine, gazing at the left fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Exhale, let it go. Walk those hands back into the heart space. Taking it to the opposite side, left hand comes outside of the right calf. Inhale, lifting up through the right fingertips, twisting through the spine and gazing at the fingertips. Exhale, release those hands underneath the heart space. We're going to pivot again and turn back towards the top of the mat. Come down onto your right knee. Work the left foot towards the upper left-hand corner of your mat, coming down into that lizard's pose. So those arms are going to be straight. Wrists are gently resting underneath the shoulders. So that can be your fullest expression of lizard. Or you can come down onto the forearms. You can come up on the knife's edge of your left foot. Just listen to your body. You can curl the toes of the right foot. Lift the knee away from the mat. Don't forget to breathe. Release that knee down if you had that leg lifted away from the earth. Super slow and gentle, continuing to come out of this posture by coming up onto the hands, dropping the knife's edge of the foot back down into the earth. Curl the right toes under and press the hips into the sky so that you super gentle, with graceful ease, can take that left leg back to meet the right and pedal it out. Taking it to the opposite side. Inhale up through the right leg. Exhale, pulling it all the way through. Hands come inside of the arch of the right foot. Come down onto the left knee and uncurl those toes. Come into the same expression of this lizard's pose on this right side as you did on the left. Take your time coming into your posture, remembering there's no rush, but come into that same version of the posture on this side as you did on the opposite. Come down onto the left knee if you're not already there. Really, really slow and gentle, coming back out of your posture. Curling the left toes under, pressing the hips into the sky. Drop that leg back to meet the left and pedal it out. Keep those toes curled. As you drop the knees in towards the mat, walk the hands up towards the body, dropping the glutes down onto the heels, cleaning out those meridian lines. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands in prayer pose, drop into the breastbone, anchoring that energy of universal love into your being. Breathe and relax. Drop those hands in front of those knees. Tap out the tops of the feet. Press the glutes back. Once again, resting those heels or the glutes onto the heels in that rock pose. Gently resting the hands on the thighs. Take that deep Ujjayi breath, that oceanic breath. That same breath that we began our practice with this morning. Such a good posture for your digestion. If you're having trouble digesting, this is a perfect pose to get that digestive system working properly again. Working on that lower triangle. Hands come down in front of those knees, tapping out the tops of the feet one more time. Release the glutes into the mat. Swing the legs around in front of you. Hands come to the top of the hip crease. Inhale deeply as you lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinging forward from the hips. Drop those fingertips all the way down towards the ankles and feet, pausing wherever it is that feels comfortable and safe. And just breathe into the body as you gaze over those toes. Not judging your feet or thinking about if you need a pedicure, but just thinking how beautiful those feet are, how amazing they are for doing all the work of taking you all the different places, giving you the ability to do all of the different things that the heart desires, to walk, to run, to skip, to dance. Really slow and gentle. Drop those hands down onto the legs. Inhale and rise up. Take those hands back towards the hip crease. Bend those knees so that the soles of the feet are gently resting into the mat. And super slow with grace and ease, release the spine all the way down into the earth, vertebra by vertebra. Take some deep breaths. Hands come underneath those hips. Inhale, lengthen through those legs. Take those legs into the sky. And just breathe into the body. then pointing those toes, we're going to draw tiny circles into the sky to the left side first. Take those circles in the opposite direction whenever you're ready. Come back to center. Feet come flat towards the sky. Take those deep breaths. Really slow and gentle, release those knees down into your chest and give yourself a nice tight squeeze. Holding on to just the right leg. Inhale, lift up through the left. Exhale, really slow, release that left leg down into the earth. Reaching out through your right arm, your right arm. Your left hand comes to the outside of your right knee and pulls it across the body. Gazing over the right fingertips if it feels safe on the neck. Really slow with grace and ease, untwisting the spine, taking the knees back into the chest. Holding on to just the left leg this time. Inhale, lift up through the right. Exhale, take it down, super slow with grace and ease. Reaching out through the left fingertips, right hand comes outside of the left leg, pulls it across the body. Gazing over the left fingertips this time, only if it feels safe on the neck. Untwisting the spine. Knees come back into the chest. Finding that happy baby posture. Grabbing onto the outside edges of those feet. Knees come into the armpits. Taking some gentle movement or remaining in stillness. Whenever you're ready, take any last postures that you might need to close your practice or release those legs all the way down for your final Shavasana corpse pose posture. And breathe into the body as you sink into the earth. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. And as you relax and breathe into your body, we're going to take our hands, cross those arms over each other, and take your fingertips towards opposite shoulders. Right fingertips gently resting on the left shoulder, right fingertips, or left fingertips gently resting on the right. Really slow. Drag the fingertips down the biceps, the elbows, the forearms, and out to the fingertips. And just do this 5 or 6 more times. You can even just take turns. Right hand on left shoulder, draw the fingertips down the left arm. And then switch sides. remembering that you are a safe space. No matter what you've been through, no matter what experiences you've had, you're not broken. You're always in your perfection. It is only the mind that would tell you anything else. But you're not the stories. You're not your experiences. You are an infinite, beautiful soul that's always in its utmost state of perfection, always whole, always complete, always radiant. Whenever you're done caressing your arms with your fingertips, just gently release those arms to the side of the body and breathe and sink into the earth. The ironies. I lost my mind to find my way. I stopped worrying so much, and then my love became free. I started softening and found my strength. I got things so wrong and realized everything was going to be all right. When I allowed myself to be confused, I started hearing my true voice. When I stopped fighting the pain, I started to be more present. When I stopped trying to make things perfect, I realized they were beautiful enough as they were. When I let go those that needed to fly, the ones that really mattered flew back to me. Life just has this way of making everything beautiful in the most surprising ways. And that's why we call it an adventure. It's like the irony of exalting or lifting up the enemies, those you would rather not, those who have hurt us. It sounds counteractive. It sounds counterproductive. But we're not lifting them up over ourselves. We're not surrendering to them. We're surrendering to our greatest good, giving them over to divine, to source, to God, to Great Spirit, letting go of the heavy burden, carrying around that toxic energy that would only make me sick and die. And opening ourselves up to the freedom, the lightness that comes without anger and resentment and rage. When we continue to revisit those old cyclical patterns over and over and over and over again, way past the point of natural healing. And so we let it go. Whenever we're ready, whenever it's time, we let it go. We exalt ourselves and honor that beautiful universal golden thread that connects all things. Really slow and gentle coming back into the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Wrapping hands around the wrists, feet, around the ankles. Taking any gentle stretches, gentle cat stretches, full body stretches. Drawing the knees back into the chest. One more time. Give yourself a nice-sized squeeze. And then rock and roll several times forward and backward on the spine until you draw yourself upright into a comfortable seated position. Hands come to heart center so that we can complete our practice today with 3 long Sat Nam. Sat Nam, I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully and completely. Inhale to begin. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Sat Nam. Namaste. Sat Nam. I am truth. Truth is my name. Namaste. I honor that unique truth of your own embodiment without the desire to change it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have an awesome week ahead. Things are hopefully going to be cooling off a little bit, and although we didn't have a terrible summer, so enjoy this beautiful fall weather, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next time.